Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to take a look at just 72 hours in Israel. Think of it as a snapshot in time. It reveals a nation of really profound and honestly often startling contrasts. We're going to see how a bunch of seemingly unrelated events, all happening at the exact same time, weave together to create this fascinating and complex picture of a country.
So, picture this, October 22nd. A massive deal in the cybersecurity world gets even bigger, hitting a new valuation that puts it right up there with the largest in the industry's history.
And then, on that exact same day, the Israeli military announces a successful targeted strike. They eliminated a key Hezbollah operative, that's the militant group up in Lebanon, who was involved in moving weapons.
Meanwhile, at the very same time, plans get the green light for a permanent 15-floor embassy for the United Arab Emirates. A towering symbol of a brand new and deepening diplomatic relationship.
But then you flip the coin. And on the international stage, the country is facing a totally different reality. The International Olympic Committee slabs on sanctions after Israeli athletes were actually banned from a world championship competition.
So yeah, how do you make sense of all this? How does one nation live so many completely different realities all at once? It's a huge question, right? And that is exactly what we're going to try and unpack. We're going to break down this complex tapestry by looking at 4 key areas that all unfolded between October 21st and 23rd, 2025. And we'll start with the twin engines of Israel's economy and security: innovation and defense. All right, first up, let's look at the incredible engine of the Israeli economy, its world-renowned innovation sector. But as we're about to see, it operates against this backdrop of constant, high-stakes tension. Okay, let's talk numbers for a second, because the scale here is just staggering. The deal for the cybersecurity firm CyberArk is valued at an incredible $27 billion. And what's really wild is that this figure actually grew by over $1 billion since it was first announced, all because of a rising stock price. But here's the twist. On the very same day this massive financial news is breaking, the former head of the Mossad, Yossi Cohen, is on a podcast basically spelling out a global intelligence strategy, embedding what he calls manipulated equipment into enemy supply chains. It's such a stark reminder of the high-stakes security reality that's running in parallel to this booming tech scene. And this slide, well, this is a perfect cross-section of that whole startup ecosystem. You'll see a pattern here. Founders often come out of elite military tech units, like the IDF's famous Unit 8200. These are people who've been trained in cutting-edge tech and super high-pressure environments, which, as you can imagine, makes them incredibly attractive to investors. And look, they can quickly pull in millions in seed funding or even get bought out by a bigger company, sometimes in less than a year.
And believe me, this innovation boom is not an isolated thing. It is a constant flood of activity. Just in this 72-hour window, you've got a healthcare AI company raising $45 million, a travel tech giant aiming for a multi-billion-dollar IPO, and a major fintech acquisition. And all of this is happening while the defense industry is rolling out new advanced weaponry like this armed quadcopter. It just shows you how civilian and military tech often grow side by side, each one feeding the other.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit and see how this whole dynamic plays out on the world stage. Because in the international arena, Israel is experiencing 2 completely opposite trends at the very same time. It's building stronger bridges with some countries while running headfirst into new walls with others.
And this chart just lays it all out, side by side. It's this perfect illustration of the diplomatic paradox. On one side, you have plans for that huge UAE embassy, a symbol of a long-term partnership, and talks to subsidize direct flights to Argentina to strengthen ties. But on the other side, you've got the International Olympic Committee ending Indonesia's Olympic bid because of a boycott, and growing political friction in Europe, with some lawmakers wanting to halt funding for UNRW, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, and countries like Spain are even canceling major arms deals.
So, with all that big picture stuff happening on the global and security fronts, what does daily life actually look like on the ground? Well, what's really remarkable is that life, business, and culture, they just keep going with this powerful rhythm all their own.
Huge domestic business deals are still getting done, which really shows you how resilient the local economy is. For example, the mineral water company Mey Aden, which, as you can see here, controls about 40% of the Israeli market, was just snapped up in a deal worth 400 million shekels. It's a clear signal that no matter what's happening externally, that internal economic engine just keeps on running.
And you can really feel this sense of things opening back up, of returning to normal. It's tangible. The national airline El Al just brought back a key domestic flight route after a 10-year break.
5 major international airlines just announced they're coming back next week, and this is a big one. After a 2-year absence, top-tier international basketball is officially cleared to be played in Israel again.
But, right alongside all that good news and that sense of normalcy, you have these incredibly profound moments of remembrance and community that are just as much a part of daily life. During this same 72-hour period, 48 children who lost a parent in military service all gathered at the Western Wall to celebrate their coming of age, their B'nai Mitzvah.
And this really gets to the heart of it. It's not just about returning to normal, it's about actively building what's next. And this quote from a Spanish Jewish investor just says it all. He's not putting his money in the crowded Tel Aviv tech scene, nope. He's betting millions on developing Israel's southern Negev region, seeing it as the country's next big economic engine. It's just a powerful testament to the belief in the country's long-term potential, even with all the current challenges.
So, after all that, what should you take away from this intense 72-hour snapshot? Let's just quickly pull all those powerful, paradoxical threads together one more time.
What we've seen is this incredible paradox, right? A multi-billion-dollar tech boom happening right alongside immediate, high-stakes security threats. We've seen new diplomatic alliances forming at the exact same time international boycotts are taking hold. And we've seen the quiet grief of remembrance right alongside the loud cheers of returning business and culture. These aren't contradictions that cancel each other out. No way. They're the parallel realities that define the nation's incredibly complex character.
And that leaves us with this final thought, doesn't it? This 72-hour snapshot gives us a glimpse into a future that will likely be just as complicated, just as dynamic, and just as paradoxical as its present. It's a story of a nation constantly navigating a complex reality, a story of resilience that just continues to unfold day by day in real time. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.